Hello everyone, Krydax here and welcome back to pYanodon's Season 3. In this episode, we're going to be getting Navens up and going. What is everything less than 60? What the heck? What is that? What is this even hooked up to? I guess we wanted to limit it to not make more than 60 of something? I have no idea what that's about. I also forgot that we made Renea. We literally have Renea ready to go. We just gave up on making it because we don't need it for anything. Especially, I'm still not sure if we're gonna get the other sporopollenin recipe or not. Feels like it could be good. Because then we have this way to make oleochemicals, and if we get the cheaper sporopollenin, it feels like cheap oleochemicals, and that feels like a pretty huge thing. Which one was the sporopollenin? Was it bio? Was it one of these? Wasn't that one? It's not that one. These all felt competitive, and I remember having no idea if the nanofibrils one is any good or not. That's so hard to understand. It makes them so much cheaper. Maybe, yeah, I don't know. Anyway, that's not it. What if I type spore? No. Not the Navens. Is it? What would it be under? Fungus? It wasn't the Fawoji one, right? No. That was, yeah, that was the one that did that. What would it be under? I guess I can type it here. Sporopol... It might be the Renea. Is it the Renea upgrade? Or the Yadel's upgrade? Or the Bodos upgrade. I'm not sure which one it would be. Mycology, microfilters. Ooh, 100% more productivity. We can actually already research that. We just gotta get there. Which turd is it? It's the Bodos. Okay. Oh, right. But then you need rich dust to make Bodos spores. I did forget about that. It also lets you make fungal substrate from sporopollenin, but that's kind of... I don't care about that because fungal substrate's already cheap. But rich dust as a cost for Bodos spores, does that matter? I don't think so, because we'll have... the rich dust from Iron Stick recipe. So that's, I mean, you know, 4 rich dust from 1 iron plate, which means 1 iron plate gets you 40 Bodos spores, which gets you, you know, 60 sporopollenin from 1 iron plate. So yeah, that's nothing. That's free. And then this oleochemicals is such a good recipe. I don't know, that's feeling pretty good. The other Bodos upgrades would have to be really good for me to not want to do this one. This one feels really good. That feels like it gives me almost free oleochemicals. Now, the cost is still very real in terms of the refined syngas, of course. We do get productivity on this though. Yeah, this just feels so good as a way to get oleochemicals. And what were the ways to get refined syngas again? Right now I think we're doing activated carbon, but no, we're doing methanol and syngas, I think. But we do get some other ways. Like later, soonish, we can mix chromium with ref nat gas as an alternative. Also outlet gas stage 2, which cost us organic solvent, but we can make that from acetone and syngas. So that's kind of a weird, like, okay, wait a second. So acetone plus syngas makes org solve. And then that makes 2 units of stage 2 outlet gas, which then makes, that would be 3 units of ref syngas. So from 1 unit of org solve, we're getting 3 units of refined syngas. How expensive is outlet gas stage 1? Not very. A little bit of copper and nickel, and a medium amount of tar. So essentially what we're getting to do then is turn coke oven gas into refined syngas. Interesting. And sulfur. With the addition of some using the acetone and syngas method. So then we're kind of turning acetone into 3 refined syngas. That could be good. What are the other ways to make refined syngas? We will get this one. This one could be competitive, potentially. We didn't like bio oil in general, but it could be good for this specifically. Silicon carbide was mostly just coke. A little bit of powdered quartz. Quartz tubes are not necessarily the cheapest. Quite a bit of molten glass going on there. A little bit of REO, boron trioxide, but it's not that much for 0.25 quartz tubes for 300 bio oil. That's 1 quartz tube gets you 1200 bio oil, right? Which is then, you know, 1500 refined syngas. And then dried biomass is just processed powdered biomass, which is just processed biomass, I think. Yeah, it's just pulp mill into screener, and that gets us that, and then evaporator. So, I don't know. That's not terrible. The nitrogen's kind of annoying. As a cost, it is 1-to-1. And then this one feels kind of bad, although petroleum doesn't have that many other uses. I don't know. I don't know which way is the best. Probably not that. That's way too much hot air. And then there's always just the syngas and methanol version, which is like, is that expensive? Depends on how we're making methanol, I guess. Oh, now here's an interesting one. If oleochemicals are almost free, then we're basically just using chromium to make methanol. Huh. 100 refined syngas makes 200 oleochemicals, which would make 500 methanol. So, which would then make 500 refined syngas. So we only use 20% of the... Wait, I got stuck in a loop. What is it? We make methanol from oleochemicals, which come from refined syngas. Tiny bit of lead. Interesting. So chromium and lead then allow me to make refined syngas from nothing? Am I reading that right? No, from syngas. We still need to add the base level syngas. Because the refined syngas comes from methanol and syngas. And the methanol comes from the oleochemicals plus chromium. And the oleochemicals comes from lead and refined syngas. And one other thing. What's the other thing? The sporopollenin, which I'm counting, is free. Right. Okay. So yeah, that's a loop where it's basically chromium plus syngas makes methanol. Whereas this, makes ref syngas. This would be zinc and copper and double syngas makes ref syngas. That's what I'm doing currently. So then the real question becomes, do we even get a better way to make syngas at some point? We've already unlocked most of the ways to make it. Coal dust, Nixolate and biomass. Oak manure, I don't know about that. That's a turd recipe where you can loop it. This one's interesting. You're using hydrogen, you're making oxygen. Electrolyzer wise, that's pretty neutral, but if you're out of hydrogen, that costs a lot of power. And CO2 is basically free, and the nickel's pretty cheap. So this is a good way to make syngas. Maybe uses a lot of power, depends on your current hydrogen versus oxygen supply. Oh my gosh, or we can do this to make absurd amounts. Oh yeah, the oleochemicals are banging. Like, you can do so much with oleochemicals if we get that ref syngas oleochemical recipe. The Bodos spores. Look at that. We can get 500 syngas, 100 petroleum, 100 acid gas. The oxygen's kind of expensive, but again, that'll get cheaper with modules and beacons. I don't know, man. I'm a fan of this Bodos one. What do these other ones do? Energy consumption up, and we add soil to improve. We get plutonium oxide out. Oh. Uh-oh. Now I have to look into plutonium oxide? No, I'm not gonna do it. I have no idea how good that is, and I'm not even gonna look. And then this one just makes them way cheaper by removing, like, almost all the ingredients. Wow. That's pretty huge savings right there, too. It removes all the substrate, all the manure, all the moss. Huh. Picking this option will destabilize the nuclear fission reactions and cause active Bodos cultures to violently explode. Wow. Expect 1 explosion per 2 hours per active colony. That's kind of awesome and crazy, and hilarious. It does make them way cheaper and way faster. So now I have to think about what can you make out of Bodos. Nothing. They're just ingredients and other things. Wow, there's so many options in pyanodons. I'm guessing I'm going to go for the bottom one, though. This feels really good. When do we get the Bodos turd? That's not till Pi 3. But yeah, that feels like a cool way to go. All right, well, all of that analysis should... We're still 12 short for Navens. Okay, well, let's start setting up Navens. We're going to need the automol to produce... Navens culture, again, we'll do 2. I think that needs red circuits, yeah. We have everything else though. I've requested red circuits, right? Yes, got them right there. All right, so that's good to go. 1.9 a second. That's not cheap. Is that recipe productivity? It can be. Yes, that will help. And that can also be productivity. So 2 steps productivity, and that can be productivity. So 3 steps productivity on our way to SAM. So that'll use a lot less Navens. About 30% less. Is it 30% less, or is it more than 30% less? I don't know why my brain's struggling. It's less than 30% less. It's only 25% fewer Navens. But we get 33% more SAM from the same amount of Navens. It depends on how you think about it. Anyway, the Navens are going to be in here. We already set this up for 2 a second, and I don't think we can go any smaller than that. So, can this be productivity? It can, so I should make those in a big factory. A big boy factory. I mean, that should be as well, theoretically. These can be sped up, which is nice with modules. Assume they have 1 module slot. These can also be sped up, which will be nice, or beaconed. These are just not very fast, and nothing I can do about it. When do I get Naven stage 2? We actually get it quite soon. But the initial... Yeah, we can do that. Okay. We'll be able to get Navens Mark II in fairly short order. Yeah, and then that's a loop that costs Xiapho Mark II, which I don't have yet. Which will require Deluxe Fish Food, which I don't have yet. And Deluxe Fish Food is a pile of crazy, including spoilable stuff. That'll be fun. Alright, well, I'm not worried about that right now. For now, I just want to set this up. And 47 of these. This is going to be a pretty big block. I think I'll do it up here. Yeah, I don't have enough room down here. I need to start expanding west a little bit more. Yeah, why don't I do these? But yeah, we'll do this block, I think, for Navens. We need a lot of various solids, but not a large amount per second of any of them, and the only output of this, I think I will output the improved fungal substrate too, so I'm gonna like add more onto that. Okay, so then let's get rid of some trees here. And then we're gonna do a bigger requester here. More loaders. And we'll provide the fungal substrate in the Navens here. Hook those up. Can't click on it. Come on. There's gotta be a pixel where I can get to the... Nope, I can't. Alright. I need to remember to do that. Okay, and then we're going to start with probably the fungal substrate, which is just the biomass and logs. Wait, fertilizer. What am I doing? Fertilizer is requested. There we go. Okay. The guts are annoying. Those... Oh, no. I thought they had a 2-hour decay time for some reason. Those have an 8-hour decay time. That's not too bad. I still am going to make sure I only request guts if we need them, though. So we're going to have to... I don't think I'm going to do weak side for all this. I'm just going to do weak side for this part. Yeah, that feels fine. Okay. So weak side for fungal substrate is pretty chill. That can just be over here. Biomass and logs. And then we're going to need the special fungal substrate, or improved fungal substrate, whatever it's called. And then those each need 2 microorganism mines feeding them, which is going to look like this. And they've got a bunch of variety ingredients. The only spoilable one's the incubated petri dish, but that's easy to handle because it just recycles. Okay, we're getting there. This is definitely gonna have like Probably a triple. And we'll start with biomass and logs. Biomass, log. And then we're gonna do this. And we've got our first Navens going. Congratulations, Cardex. Alright, so that does that. Bones, biomass, wood. Move these down. We'll do a wood processing unit for the wood. Maybe right here. So those go there. That gets fed in. That makes the regular fungal substrate. This has wood on it and biomass. What is that doing? It's biomass on the bottom side. So that would be this. So there's biomass and wood. And then we need bone and urea as another 2. Bones. Urea. Wood. No, log. Biomass. Wrong biomass. Probably need like 28 stacks of that. And then Petri dish. 8 minutes times 20, 80, 160. That's a lot of Petri dishes. Whatever. It's cheap in the grand scope of things. All right, 22 stacks of that. Then finally, we need guts and fertilizer. Fertilizer. Probably more stacks, 25, maybe even 26. That's not a thing. Whoa. Ooh, Helmod, what you doing there? It's because I already deleted it. Oh, interesting. And I didn't refresh it, so then it's like, wait, that doesn't exist. Very interesting. Okay. Do that. Somehow we don't have power. What's going on here? All right, so then we're gonna put the Petri dishes with maybe the urea then. No, we said urea and bones. And then we're gonna need Petri dish. Ah! Oh, I gotta click that. Then Control F, Petri dish. Nice. All right, so then we've got Petri dishes. I have no idea where to put the... Hey! Created the first Navens. Look at us go. That'll probably be there, which means they're both in the wrong spot. Cool, cool. Kind of want to just build that in. Put 4 spaces, right? 1, 2, 3. Yeah. I'll just build that in so I kind of know where to put these belts. And then this is that square, so I need to go over that square between these. Means this is very much in the way. Maybe put it like here. Get it all the way out there. To feed that. Okay. Got it. And then this is the Petri dishes. Are we almost there? I think we're almost there. We've got wood and biomass. Done. We've got bones and urea done. We need fungal substrate on its own belt. Let's just try triple underground and see if that works for us. I think it might. So the fungal substrate will be on its own belt. These guys are on their own belt. This is on its own belt. And then this is the petri dish, which needs to be probably added. Petri dishes will go onto this belt right here. And then that needs to split off. These all need to split off. No, they don't. Sorry, only this one needs to split off. Because the petri dishes need to go over here as well. But then we're going to have petri recycling, which will be interesting. That'll probably go this way. And go back here, and then there'll be one on this side. And all of those are recycled petri dishes that need to be prioritized over these petri dishes, which are only on the bottom lane. Which would mean we could just do this, and then they're automatically prioritized as long as they're all on that lane, which would be this. I could also do the lanes with inserters if I wanted to be a little more careful, but this is fine. Okay, so as long as the only thing that gets put onto here is regular petri dishes, we should be fine. So then that... Oh, I see. That changes the whole direction. Okay, I need to not accidentally click on that. So those get fed into there. Then they're getting direct inserted. But if that goes wrong, we need to output. See, it is just easier to do that sometimes. These need to filter on regulars. I don't know which one's faster. I just have to practice. Okay. And then this will output petri dish only. These two. Okay, so we've handled petri dish recycling, and I've handled incubated petri dish direct insertion. So I should be down one. Okay, that's done. Then we need water for a variety of things. Throw that over here. Need power for everything. And lamps. How about? And then we need water over here. Cross. Okay, so water's done. We're getting there. What else? Gosh, I love this game. This is so fun. I love it, I love it. Okay, I think that's actually almost it, right? We just need the inserters, which can all be regulars. This. Oh, this belt needs to be here. Okay. It is kind of funny when you click off of an inserter. You got to make sure you don't click on another inserter, or it opens that one's menu. Okay, put that there. And then now we've got all the ingredients inserted. We've got water. The petri dishes are being fed. Now we just have to deal with the output of the improved fungal substrate, which I think will be here. And then that will go two places. One is to the provider, and the other will probably go behind everything over here. Make its way to the top part. Okay. So that'll split. This just needs to load based on improved fungal substrate. Less than 3,000? 4,000? Stacks to 100, right? Yeah, let's do a full tier 2 train load. And then I think we're done. We probably don't care about these running constantly, but they will be spoiling and running constantly if we don't stop them. So let's measure what's on this belt. No, sorry. This belt. Okay, so these only run if improved fungal substrate is less than, I don't know, 200 is probably a good number. Because that belt only goes to here. How many tiles is that, actually? That's only like, okay, so never mind. That's gonna be like 70. Once it's backed up. Okay. That guy there, that guy there. Are we out of petri dishes? Guess we are. That's scary. Oh no. What is going on here? Oh yeah, we are. We're out of the glass. Is glass not running? Oh gosh. We're out of fuel again? How does this keep happening? We're out of fluid fuel again. We just added the bitumen seep that only makes fluid fuel. Where did I put that? Is that really not enough? Thought for sure that would keep me going for a while without any issues. Where did I build that actually? Oh wait, they're not called bitumen seep. Once you tap into them, they change names, don't they? Shoot, where did I build that? Was it this one? Yeah. Okay, I guess it's just called tar. So, yeah, tall oil, light on. Oh my gosh. We're out of fluid fuel. Okay. We need to think more seriously about how to generate a lot of fluid fuel, I think. Like a path from raw coal to fluid fuel. What is the best path for that? Is it just this? Is it coke oven gas? It could be. That's 20 megajoules every 2 seconds. That's 10 megajoules, like that's 10 coke oven gas a second. And we get free coke out as well. And I could turn the coke into coal gas and tar, or yeah, it's probably, I don't think there's an easy way to turn coke into fluid fuel. We can make CO2 out of it. Yeah. Oh, no, wait. There's this. Yeah, that needs copper. Probably not worth it. Yeah, there's basically just that, which then requires other steps to turn those into... Those are fluid fuels, but the value of each unit is very low for tar and coal gas, so that's probably not worth it. So we'd just get rid of the coke, but that would be a lot of coke oven gas. I mean, realistically, like, how competitive is that with tapping into a bitumen seep? Let's compare. So this guy's making 150 a minute, which is making about 60 a second of tall oil and light oil, each of which are about a megajoule. So that's about 120 a second. So to compete with that, I would only need 12 high pressure furnaces on raw coal to make coke oven gas. I don't know, that doesn't seem crazy, to be honest. Not to mention we use coke oven gas for like a bunch of other stuff too, so having a bunch could be nice. We can just make straight syngas out of it if I want to, get a bunch of free flue gas. And then it's also what makes the outlet gas, which then when we combine it with the org solve makes the stage 2 outlet gas, which is what makes refined syngas. Or light oil. Interesting. Or we can add some acid gas, which we get for free from the sulfur, right? Isn't sulfur and water acid gas? Am I making that up? Am I making that up? I swear I wasn't making that up, but I don't see the recipe. Or does sulfur just directly make... I never remember. What is it? Sulfur... Where's the recipe? What does sulfur make? Sulfur makes something. Okay, guys, I feel like I'm going crazy. Does sulfur and water not make acid gas? Or sulfuric acid? One of the two? I know I wasn't using hydrogen peroxide. That's the worst recipe of all time. Where's the recipe? I feel like we ran into this exact same issue before. And I've already forgotten. Or did it change? Did the turd change a recipe? Did the turd change a recipe? No, it just adds it. Okay, I've lost my mind again. Oh, I apologize. You guys are probably screaming at your screens because I've been through this exact thing. I remember being like, oh yeah, how do you turn sulfur doesn't just turn into... there is no way to turn sulfur into sulfuric or acid gas. Or sulfur into sulfuric or acid gas. Yeah, but now I'm not finding it again. It's like I've gone mad. This is not the one I'm thinking of. I don't think. Pretty sure that's not the one I'm thinking of. There it is. Acid gas and water. All right, I'm losing my mind. What? How? When? Where? Okay, that's the new one. Where's the old one? This one was the old one. I was using refined syngas. Okay, never mind. Never mind. For some reason, I thought there was a better way there. Okay. So sulfur. I mean, but now that we have the Fawoji version, obviously that's way better. But yeah. Okay, sorry. I had just misremembered that. That is the one I was thinking of. Okay. So anyway, all that to say, I was looking at stage 3 outlet gas, and what does that get for us? That gets us nothing. Just stage 4 outlet gas, unless the barrels do something. That just needs tall oil, and then from there we have the outlet gas stage 4, which is only for heating? Really? I thought there was something else that this one did. Maybe not. Reheating molten salt. Oh no, you heat up the outlet gas. Wait, what? No, sorry. That's just for brick heating. You reheat the outlet gas itself. Okay. For some reason I thought there was a recipe at the end, but it must have just been the stage 2 that I was remembering. Anyway, all of that is a digression from coke oven gas, having lots of coke oven gas as a fluid fuel. And is that crazy? And is doing it this way crazy? Because I would only need 12 high pressure furnaces running, and there are 5 raw coal a second, which is not very much. I don't know, this feels pretty dope. And then coke, infinite coke. I think I'm doing it. Yeah, and it's not very much syngas per second, so this isn't the best way to make it, but if I vastly increase production, it could be with like modules and stuff. I don't know. This doesn't feel that crazy to me. You guys might be like, this is crazy, but I don't think it's crazy. Let's get some stations. I'm going to need a super trasher for the coke, and we'll do weak side here, and then I will need a be fungible. Actual fluid is coke oven gas, and mask fluid is pressurized air. Right? Why does that symbol look different? No, that's the one we've been using. Provide priority at probably less than the main ones. We'll put that at 5. And then I will do an extra 2 tanks. Hold more. Okay. And then merge this, and then, yeah, I mean, this is super chill. We just put this on belts. Do I even want it on belts? I could just direct insert. High pressure furnace. Direct insert, though, requires using up a lot of this space, so that might not be optimal. Yeah, let's just get this going here. And yeah, this, I don't know. Feels still decent to me. This feels decent to me. Okay, so the amount of coal is 30 plus 30 is 60. A lot. But the amount out is only 12 plus 12, so we can just do a regular yellow belt out. I think we do that, and then the coal can come in. And the coke can go out, and I don't think we have to do anything special for that, because the coal will already be stacked. Triple on a yellow belt is 45, so we're gonna need a red belt here, and then each of these needs its own fast inserter, which is still not fast enough, and we'll need even faster once we've got like some speed upgrades and stuff. So we'll do that. This. Connect them up at the top. And I think that's, oh, power. Can I do one for everything? Not the way that I've designed it. I mean, it'll be fine. Alright, there's that. There's that. Oh, I didn't flip it vertically, so that does work. Okay. And then connect that across and down. Okay, so there's a coke oven gas. This runs over to the super trasher along there. And what's funny is that's almost enough right there, 6 apiece. I guess not quite enough. We do need one miner per roughly one miner per building. Roughly balance that. These, make sure we have the full spectrum of ore captured here. And then we just grab a red belt, drag that through. Input. Merge this in. And then power everything. Does not require very many power poles. I love it. We've been throwing some lamps. Okay, that is pretty good. I don't think we need anything else. We do need one more RoboPort there. Still feels really weird, like I'm cheating somehow. This, I don't know. But this feels like a reasonably strong way to get fluid fuel compared to my other options right now. The best way would probably be oil processing, like crude oil. If we turned all of the outputs into some sort of fuel, because the condensates can be turned into BTX, which is fuel, right? And we already have done that path. And then the ref nat gas can be recycled into more, or we could turn the ref nat gas into... What was the... Wasn't there a turd that used ref nat gas? No, this is what we'll use for our base power. So I'll actually need more condensates at some point. Anyway, but yeah, the high distillates can go to naphtha, which is not really great fuel, so that's not the best. Forget, can naphtha go to something? Yeah, we can just turn that into tall oil, so then that densifies the fuel. So you can get tall oil from the high distillates. You can get medium distillates are really nice. That gets you strip distillates, which can be everything, including fuel oil, though that's later. Methanol, which is a megajoule of fuel value. Gasoline, though that needs some plates. And low distillates, which then can just be heavy oil, which would be fine as fuel value. That's 200 heavy oil, so that's a lot of fuel right there. Better than the BTX. You can also do kerosene later with the ChemSci research. Probably better. 1.5 megajoule is pretty dense. 200 heavy oil. Yeah, definitely more than the heavy oil version. Though it needs a titanium tetrachloride, which is not free. Is not free. Can we do productivity on that? No. Okay, so anyway, back to Navens, which was the whole point of this episode. I mean, the whole point of the episode is to play Pi, which is great, but let's taking a minute here to get everything set up. Now, why haven't we gotten... Oh. That's why. That one's ready to go. That will finish those two, and then we just don't have petri dishes yet. Okay. So then back to Navens. We should be able to bring the guts and the fertilizer on a belt up. Wait. Did I miss? These don't need fertilizer. No, we're good. Alright, fertilizer. Guts. No, I need to do decayed first for guts. Otherwise, we're gonna have problems. That does that, and then I'll put all these just next to the edge here. That is 9, 7. 2 more. And then, yeah, we're just gonna have to have some big rows of these here. Okay, I'll start with chunks of 4. We've got 4 solid ingredients. Do I want a sushi loop? Because then that helps with spoilage in general. If I don't do a sushi loop, guts will spoil on the end of the belt. Do I want the belt to be fully buffered? These are the questions. Probably, because the whole point is to stop requesting guts when we have enough Navens. So I think it's okay to just let the jerky happen. I'm just gonna buffer these. Oh, we need an output. Okay, we'll do that. And I really do think it's as simple as this. This, and wait a second. This. Okay. And then a power pole for both, and then that should do it. The spoilage of jerky will just end up on the Navens belt, which is fine. And that's a chunk of 4, and we need like 12 of these. So that's a lot. These set up. Two, 3, 4, and we only have there. Okay, so there is the spores, and this is the improved fungal substrate. That actually will work side-loaded properly, but just to guarantee that it works side-loaded properly, we'll do that. And then the other belt is fertilizer and guts, which will come up here. And that's it, right? Fertilizer, guts, spores, improved substrate, and then the water we'll figure out in a second. And then that is going to need some more roboports. I extend it out here and here. All right, what do we got? There's a chunk of 8. Can I fit 16? We can get a 16. Can I fit a 20? We can get a 20. I could fit one more, but I won't. So then that means we've got spoilage on the end here of the guts belt. So I will simply do a jerky filter on the end, and we're good to go. Might as well cut that off too and cut this off. No reason to waste all that. All right, and then I copy this. Dear God, what have I done? This is horrifying. Yikes. Okay, and then this is the final resting place for the Navens. And the jerky. I don't have a super trasher. Is maybe a problem. Naven. Yeah, we need a super trasher for the jerky. Or I could just turn it into biomass and reuse it. I don't know. I do know we need a decider combinator measuring the Navens amount. If Navens, which stack to 50, are less than... What's the amount we are asking for? The amount we're asking for is... 60 stacks? 3,000? And then we'll go a little higher than that. That should be fine. And we'll output guts. Negative 2,000. Okay. So we will ask for a full train of guts if Navens are low. Should I have another condition? Or is that the only condition? I think that's fine. It does lead to potential waste, but I don't think I need it to be super duper smart. Alright, and then we do need a trasher. Super trasher strong side. For the jerky. It is nice to just be able to hook that up. I don't have to do anything else. That's literally it. I'm done. And then I guess we will need more RoboPort coverage for this side of things. Okay. Finally, what's the finally here? The finally is that I know we're still, oh, the water. I was like, I know we forgot something here. The water will have one of these guys. Good to go. There. And is there any restriction I need to have on the Navy? Like, do these need to stop running at some point? Can they just always run? I think they just always run. The Navens themselves will back up. No, they shouldn't. The guts should run out. That's what we want to happen. We want the guts to run out. So if I'm going to do 40 stacks and then 60, that leaves 44 freebie stacks for the guts to turn into Navens, which should be enough. So whatever guts we have left should overproduce Navens. There will be a few guts that spoil because each of these needs 5, so there will be some amount of spoilage whenever that happens. I'm not super duper worried about that. And then we're going to do a lamp here and here, here and here, here and here. Okay, and then from there, we're missing a belt. I don't think we need anything else. They'll have outserters. And what? Why those aren't built yet? Funnel substrate's done. We're still waiting on petri dishes. But apart from that, I think we're done with Navens. Let's go hand deliver them to our new Navens facility. Oh my gosh, we're researching productivity modules. I cannot believe it. What'll it be, another 10 hours, 20 hours before we actually make one? Probably. I don't know exactly how many hours, but it'll be quite a few. Only will be quite a few. All right. Oh, and how much water do I actually need? I forgot to look at that. Nothing. 28. So that's super chill. There. There. And there. Now, I'm aware I only made 40, and I was supposed to make 48. If you were like, Krydex, you didn't make enough, I'm aware of that. It's fine. I was overproducing SAM a little bit. I don't think I want a bigger Navens facility than this. If I make more, it'll add a whole nother column. I don't think I want to. There will be various ways to improve Navens in the not too far future, including just the second recipe, which is special fungal substrate, which adds some various things. So yeah, not gonna worry about that right now. So as soon as we get petri dishes, I think this whole thing's running. Because that's the only thing missing from improved fungal. Let's just follow the belt to make sure that looks good. This belt does indeed get split and fills that up, and then goes here and goes on the bottom of that belt, which then does get grabbed. So yeah, we will be making Navens as soon as we get petri dishes delivered. Now, back to that idea. We are making Coke. Too much Coke. Did I measure wrong? 24 is a red belt. I did measure wrong. I don't know what I was thinking. Maybe I was thinking 2 belts? I don't know. To be perfectly honest. But yeah, now we've got one more fuel. In fact, there should be a train on the way. Yep, there it is. Wait, no? Just kidding. Shouldn't there be a train on the way? I have 27,000. Why are there no trains on the way? Is that because I have enough fuel right now? Yeah. No, I don't. Wait, I'm super confused. This is asking for 25k pressurized air. So why is this not providing to it already when it should be? Did I do the wrong pressurized air? No. Something else wrong here. Did I like not hook up the train station? Now we have one. There it goes. Took a second. Oh, maybe I was out of trains. Yeah, there's an FR in there at the bottom, so maybe I am short on fluid trains as well. Also, a train is stuck. Not really. Though this would be a prime location to upgrade a few. Let's add another 45 ash a second out. Because even with 120 a second, it still takes forever. Alright. There's the 25,000 coke oven gas. Should help a little bit. I'm still not sure if that's enough fluid fuel for our base. It seems like no matter how much we make, we still consume more. So I probably screwed up in the early game by not setting up a larger dedicated fluid fuel production facility. That could still be in our near future. I'm not sure which fluid fuel we should produce, but there's a lot of things we get in early chemical science that could help with that. So we probably should wait a minute before we make anything. I don't remember, but yeah, like fuel production. Look at that. So we can make kerosene and diesel. Nichrome, though, that's probably not going to happen. Diesel from methanol and nextolite. Crude oil from tailings and aromatics. Now that's interesting. That is interesting. And then olefins too from tailings and aromatics. That's going to be a good recipe. And there's more that we've seen. I don't like one of these is some of those are good. We saw this one, the heavy oil, or the kerosene from low distillates. Yeah, there's lots of things. So I'm just not sure. We'll have to think about. It'll probably be something with crude oil. Check power. Uh-oh. Really? Yep, really. Holy crap. Holy crap. That's crazy. We can turn on the emergency if and when we need to. I'm not gonna do that yet, but that's crazy. Alright, unfortunately, we're not gonna see our first Navens reproduction because I just don't have the petri dishes. Still out of fuel, by the way. Is shale oil not producing? Like, what's going on here? Where's all of our fuel going? Are we, like, overflowing something? No, these are all... Those are both empty. Light oil, heavy oil. Huh. Can light oil be improved in fuel value? Not really, no. That one's... It's tricky, because light oil is what, 900? Yeah. So, you're increasing by 25%. Yeah, you're only keeping about 60... No, you're increasing by 33%. So what's 133 times 50? It's like 67.5 or something. Yeah, something like that. So you're losing about a third of your fuel value by doing this, but you get free aromatics out. That's obviously not the right direction, but it is an option. Anyway, yeah, I don't know. We're just not making enough fluid fuel across all the places. Probably because this stuff isn't set up to make fluid fuel on purpose. Like if I look over here, I've got crap tons of medium distillates I could be turning into fluid fuel. If I had titanium tetrachloride. And as far as the high distillates, again, we could turn that into naphtha. And what do the condensed distillates do again? Actually fine, they make gasoline for free. But yeah, the naphtha, it goes 4 to 3, and the naphtha goes 3 to 2. So we basically get tall oil from high distillates at a 2-to-1 ratio. So this could just be, you know, 110,000 tall oil if I had set it up, with the only cost being the gasoline. But I think the gasoline's worth it, right? We're spending 20 gasoline to then get 100 tall oil. Yeah, I mean, it's definitely worth it. So, plus the 50 condensed distillates gives me back 12.5 of that gasoline. So we're really only spending 7.5 gasoline. And we get petroleum gas, which has a megajoule of fuel value. I just noticed that. So we're spending 7.5 gasoline to get 25 petroleum, which is a megajoule, and 100 tall oil, which is also a megajoule. So we're getting 125 megajoules out from only the 7.5 gasoline in. That's pretty good. I should probably set that up. Tall oil from high distillates rather than overflow. Tall oil from high distillates. We'll set that up at some point, and maybe sooner rather than later. 'Cause, yeah, we're just not getting enough fluid fuel. I wonder if these smelters are part of the problem. Or if it's the glassworks that's taking more. Because these take 10 megawatts a piece when they run. The glassworks take 10 megawatts as well. Efficiency modules in general, though, will save my bacon. Once those might almost be more important. If I put one efficiency module in every smelter and every glassworks, we've just cut our fluid fuel consumption by about 1 billion. Not literally 1 billion, but a lot. And then I think I put efficiency in these too, which I'm pretty sure. What does that do for things that doesn't have a drilling fluid? Which one has the drilling fluid? Is it that is the rare earth. Is it the phosphate? Yeah, it has a mining fluid. So when we put efficiency on here, it won't use less syngas, but it will consume fewer drill heads as well. So yeah, efficiency is going to be a big deal. It saves us a lot of stuff. Saves us drill heads, saves us a lot of fluid fuel. So that's probably the bigger upgrade than anything, because then everything will cost 40% less fluid fuel and no downsides. And imagine these guys, 40% less power. How much power will I save? I mean, if we look at the average over the last 10 hours, that's 300 megawatts. 40% of that is 120 megawatts for free by just putting 72 modules in. Do boilers use modules? I don't actually know. Yeah, we can put, and they have 3 slots. So we can go all the way down to minus 80% on all those. So then steam really does become free. I am going to stop training around cold steam. Now that I see those can take modules. There's really no point. Okay, well, we're going to have to call it an episode here. We've got our Navens set up. They're not running yet because we don't have the Petri dishes, but they will soon. As always, thank you guys for watching. Let me know what you think in the comments, and I'll see y'all in the next one.